runs down the stairs. We are in the middle of trying to make our guest bedroom a office. And as you all have had little children or will maybe someday, or if you don't, you know that they're energetic and just want to see everybody. So Connor has been trying to adjust to this way of living as well. So Kate is here. We're gonna go through some different things that you can use for SEL and connecting with your learners this afternoon. If you missed an earlier session, they're going to be they've been recorded, and this one is being recorded just so that we can put into a YouTube channel, and we'll send that out to people as we put, upload all of that. In the chat here, you are free and welcome to add any questions or anything like that you want to. Thought we had a visitor. I'm just closing the door. But that slide deck is free for you to take. It has links to different things. Some you may have used, some you may not have. It has a couple of different tutorials throughout there, and a couple of different Edutopia articles and stuff like that. If you have questions, feel free to unmute your mic and ask away. When you present with Hangouts, sorry for all the noise, guys. This is the life of a 3-year-old. You don't see everybody's screen, so sometimes we don't know if you are ready to ask a question or not. So just go ahead and jump in. Thank you, Kim, for telling me that. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. Kate, you go ahead and slow me down or chime in anytime you want with all of that.
All right.
Eventually. All right, so if and when you grab this, you can look ahead. Kate and I have been sharing with ourselves, with each other, and if you were in any of our earlier sessions, we shared other different things that come up on social media that we find are funny, that kind of break the anxiety of everything that's going on around us. But I laugh at this one pretty good, running out of things to keep me entertained in quarantine, and then that follows.
Does anybody know what that show is on Netflix? Has anybody seen it? It's Tiger King. If you haven't seen it, it is a shit show. You should watch it. You cannot look away. It's bizarre.
So there you go. If you get nothing else from this, you get to have a new Netflix show to watch. This is something that is a tough avenue as we're all going down. Earlier on in the beginning of the day, we talked about organization of our materials and how the learning space looks. And then we looked in the afternoon at lesson design with hyperdocs and stuff like that. And I think it's important for all of us to take a moment and reflect, what all of this uncertainty brings, all of the new lifestyle we're all living, for us, for the kids, for the parents, all of those different things, just something to think about. What if in every email you send to your students before getting work they need to complete at home, check in with them, tell them a lame joke, make sure they know you miss them. I know I've talked with a bunch of you that have shared, in your connection with students, you then get a follow-up email saying it was really nice just to talk to you, hear from you, all of those different things. So I think it's always important, as we get more, deeper and deeper into this. And in looking at the wide realm of what we could be focusing on, sharing with you, we tried to bring in some tools and things that would be applicable to you, so that you can be dangerous enough, to hit the ground running with things that we have available. So we kind of broke it into 4 different things, using Hangouts, Meet, through webinars being one of them. Something as simple as showing your face on screencast. And I'm not somebody that loves to do that myself, but you get used to it after a little while. But that's an important thing, I think, in some way, or even your voice, because that's a sense of comfort for for our kids. Phone calls, personal emails to them. In there, I'm gonna show a little bit about Google Hangouts calling, if you don't want to use your personal number or anything like that. And then incorporating, social pop culture discussions, some fun things that you could do with them that aren't overly intricate, or hard to set up. Just something to break up, just the content. So in looking at, we're all sitting in a Hangouts meet, whatever you want to call it now. They just combine both names. This is a clickable link that gives you a PDF that you should be able to access. If you can't, just let me know, of how to set one up. Later on, whether it be at the end of this week or early next week, we're going to run a surprise session on setting up a Hangouts meet for you and for your students. So if you're unsure of how to begin to set that up, it's not overly difficult, but once you get used to it, it's not terrible. But we've gotten feedback from earlier sessions about that. We are going to include that as a session, as a little surprise sneak attack one. But with this link, with this link here, it'll give you a screenshot, side by side of what you would need to do to set one up. I know a couple of people asked earlier on if you can record, if you can keep a Q&A of any questions that get put in the chat and stuff like that. So we're going to find out some of those answers and include that Q&A and those FAQs with everything a little bit later. Oops. Another big way outside of having your webinars or those meetings or anything like that is there are different ways that you could record yourself as a message, through an announcement, through just checking in, seeing if everybody's doing well, saying hi, sharing something about your family that you would feel comfortable doing. If it were me, I would share all of the different crazy things that my child's doing right now. I think that you all have made connections with your kids in a variety of different ways, and for some of you, they know your kids, what they do, all of the different stories you've told. And I think that is something that all of us are missing in some way. Not to sound easy with it, but we are. As each day goes on, it becomes more and more difficult for everybody. So having that in Canvas, you can record yourself. And so both of these images are links to step-by-step directions for that. But if you haven't done it before, it's super easy. You just click on, once you're in announcement or you're in anything that you're building, an assignment, a page, anything like that, you can just click on this little play button and it will bring up the option for either you to upload media. So you could record something on your computer beforehand and upload it, or you could record it live. Because we're at home, I've not had a single problem doing that. Like when we're at school, it's hard if everybody's on the same hotspot and everything like that. But you can either do it where you're recording your voice and your face, or you can just do your voice. And I think that is a really great way to open up a week, a topic, anything like that. And that's right in Canvas. You don't have to go anywhere else. For anybody that hasn't used Screencastify, you can record your screen and have your face there on the side with it. This is a video that is like 11 minutes long. Really, if you watch the first 88 seconds, you'll know more than you need to know about Screencastify. And when you're on, it's an extension that you have, and you can screen share your slide deck or whatever you would be doing for instruction potentially, and you can have your face there on the side so that everybody can see what you're doing with all of that. I really like Screencastify. It's super easy and it goes right to your Google Drive. So I know some people have done that, some people haven't. If you start getting into it and you're like, I don't know what on earth to do here, we'll talk about office hours and all that later, but definitely reach out and we can help you. It's super, super easy. The Screencastify Word is then directions to their help site, which can give you anything and everything you need. And then if you haven't used Flipgrid, Flipgrid fever never stops. This is a good way to have a discussion board. You could share out what your weekly challenge is, and then they, being students, they would record themselves doing X, Y, and Z. I know that a couple of PE teachers throughout the district have done something like this, obviously in school or throughout that week, but that's something you could do. You could have them do a silly challenge, like go and, I don't know, find 5 things in your house to start with this or that, or go along with whatever your topic is. If you do anything, if any language teachers are out there, having them find 5 things that they could speak the Spanish language with, whatever that be, they could do. Flipgrid's super easy, super integrated. And I can promise you, in somewhere in the last 2 years, 99% of your kids have done something like this. And then if you wanted to do any calling and connect with students that way, this is just a screenshot that you can click on the picture, and it'll take you to directions. I think Kevin might be sharing those out as well. But you can call whatever the number you find from Sapphire or what have you, and it'll come up as no caller ID, no user ID. So you have to get make sure they understand that's you calling. But that's a way you can do that. You can download the app on your phone if you want to use your phone that way, or you can just use your computer, and it doesn't it doesn't go back to your number. Somebody said earlier, was it star 76, Kate? Star 74?
Star 67.
There you go. Star 67 is another way you could use where you hide your number. But Hangouts calling, I did it the other night with Warren, and it was super, super easy and didn't seem any different than anything else. Kate, you want to talk a little bit about Goose Chase and that?
Yeah. So one of the other ways, I guess, to connect with your kiddos is to incorporate the app of Goose Chase. Not sure if you're super familiar with it, if you've used it. I have a educator's account, so if you are interested, just send me an email. I'll give you my username and password. And I do that with lots of different teachers. So if you do end up using this, you'll see a lot of different Goose Chases on my account. Essentially, this is an app that you can use on your smartphone, iPad, or it's been pushed out to all student Chromebooks. It's already out there, so if they don't have a smartphone or they can't use their smartphone, they can use their Chromebook. But it is a digital scavenger hunt where you can have questions, whether it's pop culture or it's content related, and students are submitting photos, videos, or text. They can even do GPS locations. They can participate individually or by teams. And with my account, you can do up to 10 teams. So you'd probably do it by period or by section. And so let's say that they're competing as a team and they have 10 to 14 tasks. If I do a task and I'm on the same team as Andy, it will disappear if I do the task. Andy doesn't have to do the task. But Goose Chase is a really neat way to make learning fun. So, Kevin was talking about the fact that we just need to make it fun for them and less stressful. So they could be doing stuff around the house, and you could also, sneak in some content, or it could be vice versa, sneak in some pop culture questions. And if you're not quite sure what a Goose Chase looks like, I included a link to a sample video of Goose Chase at other buildings. And it's a video I put together for Shrewsbury Elementary because we were coming to Shrewsbury to do it. So there's videos from submission videos from like Southern L, Friendship, and the middle school. So that's on there if you'd like to take a look, because it's kind of a different concept, but it is a really nice way to connect with your kids. And if they are at all competitive, they get addicted to it. The night before we shut down, the night before we went on, Friday the 13th, I had pushed out one to the middle school at 7:00, and by like 7:03, 2 teams had already submitted some submissions. But I had to obviously shut it down because we're no longer in school. Yeah, if you're interested, let me know. I can give you my username and password. And so another neat way to involve gaming and competition and some type of connection from home is to bring in obviously some real world things. So there's a teacher online who shared this, and they use different scenarios from the Nats, because obviously the teacher is from DC. And so you can click on it, Andy, it's hyperlinked. If you're interested in this, whether you teach this content or not, it's more of a social studies, you could make a copy and you could turn this into, you could edit it and it could be whatever content you teach and make it interesting for you, or it doesn't even have to be about baseball. But yeah, Andy, if you want to flip through, basically the students are given a series of tasks to complete, and yeah, so like they are responding to the problems via Flipgrid, I think Quizlet, different tech tools, and they can compete individually again or in teams, whatever you prefer. And so basically, as these submissions are coming in via digital, you can determine who's in the lead. It's kind of a game that they can be doing from home. And again, it can be content, or it can be content and pop culture, because obviously everyone's so stressed. It's nice to have some type of distraction away from the plague. But yeah, this is in there. So if you feel like, oh, I just saw Wade's comment. If you feel like this is something you'd want to use, you can make a copy and remix it for your ability. Go ahead. Yeah, the next one is Edflix. And so there's another teacher that we follow, John Meehan. He's also in DC. And he shared this free template. So what he did was he allowed students to go and decide, hey, I'm going to research whatever I want, and then I'm going to post about it. And so, yeah, if you go to the next slide, you can see some examples. Whoops, no, go back to the original. Yeah. And there's some examples of student projects. So it's a nice way. This is what he did. It was called a passion project. He called it binge learning. And the students could pick any topic and create a Google site. And they had to do some new posting up to 2 to 3 times a week. It can be a blog, vlog, or podcast. So if you go to the next slide, so this was one of his students who was blogging about the temporary vegan and the things that she learned from there. And obviously this can be as rigorous or not as you'd like. It's just a different way to get them writing and thinking and connecting with each other. So I think there's one more about The Office. Can you go to the next slide? So someone binge watched The Office and I guess came away with some conclusions and applied some literary knowledge to The Office and just the type of characters and did some analysis in that way, which was a kind of neat thing to do. And I don't know if he had an approval process for his students to go through with this. But yeah, so it's a neat way to get kids writing and connecting about things they want to learn about.
And so, like, Goose Chase, doing these break-ins and stuff like that. Those are ways to make things fun, and you may have kids that don't have access at home. Like those are also some, like, especially the break-ins. So like the Edflix, especially this one, both of them can be something that can be done over time, where you can bring in a multitude of different standards and reviews and new topics and anything like that, so that if you're looking at how do I make 3 different things fit into this, that could be a week's worth of things where they have to accomplish X amount of tasks, and you're accomplishing both a little bit of fun as well as content standards, or you could just stick with fun with it. As we look at all of those different things, and those are our goal was to give everybody a little bit of things to be dangerous to use with your kids, and ideas and different ways, and you may have used all of them, you may not have, but something that in talking with everybody the last couple of days especially that have grounded me, that this is new for all of us. So this is a new way for routines. This is a new way for parents. Some of them are now going to have to be homeschool parents as well as teaching, and you're all feeling some of those different things. You've got some of your kids that are going to have easy access, some that are going to have to share with their siblings. I know a couple of my basketball players were complaining that they have to share their Chromebook with their younger brother or sister. Maybe that's fixed now, I don't know. And there's going to be some families that have no easy access at all, and we'll adjust as we need to with them on our assignments and everything like that. and it's something that I never really thought of, and then somebody brought in perspective. Some of our students are going to be asked to help their younger brothers and sisters. You know, they're going to be semi caregivers during the day and nights and different things as their families are trying to sort through their situation. And, you know, not to go lecturer with all of it, but I had never thought of that perspective. And I thought that was a really powerful one that somebody gave me. I give Andy Warren credit for that. You know, as he connected with some of his APUSH students and hearing some of those different things. You know, obviously Kevin has said, and we'll say 1,000 times over, be flexible, you know, and adaptable. And I think the really important thing, and Garth Hoffman said that to me on the phone the other day, we're all in this together. You know, we'll get through all of this and come out the other side, whether that's for just 2 weeks or for many weeks after that. Um, and you know, just to hear some 10 tips to reduce COVID-19 anxiety. You can read those. One thing that I know for us as adults, and if I'm sure many of you have done that, but like our family, my wife has a large family, extended family that I grew up with as well. Um, you know, we do family FaceTimes. It's her cousin and one of her best friends' birthdays today, so we're gonna do, you know, a family birthday party through that. You know, making sure you're staying connected and you're not, you know, putting yourself isolated, and that's hard to remember to do sometimes. But I know that I personally felt a lot better after we did our St. Patrick's Day FaceTime. Um, you know, we do that with my brother-in-law and with you know, our best friends and stuff like that. Make sure you're taking care of each other that way, because I think that's really important with all of that. The last thing in here is an Edutopia link to, you know, 4 tips for teachers shifting into online learning. And we shared this with our first session earlier today. But I thought it was really easy and applicable to what we're looking at with SEL and thinking of each other and our kids. Um, you know, and I think the last one, you know, individual touch points are game changers. You know, we've got office hours, but you know, how do we reach out to those that we know are struggling or we fear are struggling, or how do we, you know, keep everybody feeling at least connected with each other and with you? I think is super important. Kate, anything I'm missing or you'd like to add?
No, I think it's just really important just to remember to have fun, both you and the kids.
Any questions that anybody has? You know, it's nearing dinner time in many houses, so we we won't go longer than a half an hour. But if we, you know, if everybody feels good, I don't know if there's any questions in the chat.
Just some trash talk.
Oh, okay. I like trash talk. Okay. Well, feel free to stay on if you have questions that aren't about this topic and you'd like to use this time to ask. Please feel free to. We will be having office hours and a website that's going to go out. We're trying to get everything together here. We'll also be adding all of our links to our sessions and a YouTube channel that will be put out with all of that. But feel free to reach out anytime. Many of you already have. We're welcome and encouraging to collaborate in any way, whether it's get on a hangout, it's you send us stuff, it's a phone call, anything like that. We are here to help in any way we can. Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
And did you move to the basement?
I did, yes. I moved to and now it feels like our house is falling down on me.
Yeah, but this is like the 3rd room that I've seen you in.
Yeah. Yeah, this is we're trying to see all the house here.
Hey, Andy, Sheila. I keep trying to do the Google phone call thing, and I get a busy sign every time. Like I tried calling my wife as a demo, and I had her phone in my hand, and it just kept like not working.
Okay. Well, let me connect with you, or you can sit down. So you put in area code and all that stuff. That's weird because I didn't have. So let me find your number. Just a second here, Frank. I'm gonna call you from this.
All right.
You know what? I'll call you after. I'll connect you with FaceTime or something like that.
Yeah, that works. That works. We don't need to do it here.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, I had a real quick question about so from a math teacher's perspective, I'm probably going to be doing some like 10-minute videos. I don't know if Canvas has a limit on how long the videos can be. I don't want to like get 10 minutes into a video and then it shuts me down. You know what I mean? Is there like a preferred, like what's the best for that type of thing? Like if I'm trying to show myself on a whiteboard type thing.
So personally, I would say if you use Screencastify,
Yeah.
that would be the way I would say to go because it doesn't. You're not going to get shut down on limits. You can embed that link that it creates, share that out through Canvas or whatever you want with it, and then you have an easy archive of it because it creates a folder right in your Google Drive with it. That's what I would say because it's safe.
Okay, and that will use your camera. That's not just recording your screen and your voice, is it? Is that
Correct.
like
Correct.
Okay?
And you can shut off your face if you really want to, but no, it'll do all three.
Okay, so I'm gonna like prop up a whiteboard or something and just kind of like I'm kind of there. All right, perfect. Thank you guys very much.
Yep, sure thing. Anytime. Yeah. Hold on.